G'day everyone and welcome to the August 2023 edition of Australian Model Railway News. We're going to go through all the news updates and announcements that have happened in the model railway industry for August. And don't forget to stay through to the end where I do announce competition winners as well as all the currently, announced exhibitions and conventions for 2023 and 2024. Australian Model Railway News and other videos on this channel are made possible by the Patreons on Patreon. And welcome to the new members this month. And if you are interested in joining the community, there is more information in the description below, as well as the CGL Model Supply, who make excellent paint and modelling accessories. The news is also supported by Trackside Models, who produce high quality buildings and accessories in scale format at reasonable prices, and ABR Model Works, who provide easy to build structures and modular baseboards. Also, if you are new here, or perhaps you're returning again, don't forget to be subscribed so you can keep up to date with all the videos that I have coming out pretty much weekly. Anyway, geeking off this month's news, an update from Trackside Models, who are about to have a couple of new kits about to hit their website in both HO and N scale, which are a selection of low relief warehouse kits and expansion sets for between $25 and $50 depending on size and scale. These will be joining their ever expanding range of laser cut Australian made kits, which of course if you are interested in, don't forget to use my code so you can save 10% off all of their products. A new book from Phil Overton, Model Railway Weathered Wonders, has now hit the shelves and is available for purchase. Model Railway Weathered Wonders, as it stands, copies of this book, including Weathered Wonders, are now in stock and available through Australian Modeller in Sydney, Trainworld in Melbourne, and Coles Australian Railway Books in Queensland. Although at time of recording this, I am aware that some of the books have either sold out or are about to. Phil says that this book has been a year-long project as well as being a huge financial undertaking. It saw Phil weather upwards of 180 pieces of rolling stock, buildings and structures to get the mix of photos that could be used in the book. The final editing, page balance and selection process meant not all the models were destined to make it onto the pages of the book. So any items that weren't already destined for the author's own layout have needed to find new homes through the Philden Model Railway eBay store. Weathered by Philden models sold on eBay are priced at the individual retail cost plus around $40 to cover paints, labour and associated fees. Each model comes with a small certificate signed by Phil as a way of saying thank you for your support, and due to their popularity, Philip is going to continue to weather small batches of Australian HO scale models in between his next project. Inside the book, the chapters are laid out with various weathering methods shown in increasing order of difficulty. While the book is designed to ease any fears of stuffing up a model by giving the reader a gentle narrative rather than a text-heavy set of instructions. From the rusty goods sheds to the dirty diesels, nothing stays clean forever, and the author draws from upon 40 years of experience in the hobby to share how it is possible to get great results using a series of simple, overlapping methods. There will be one more book to follow the complete set of Philden Railway Presents books. After a decade of writing railway and model railway books, the award-nominated and two-time bestseller author has already shared on his blog that he feels that next year is the right time to move on to other creative projects and let the hobby return to being a hobby. So watch for the final installment of these books to appear before the end of 2023. Also, if you are after any Phil's weathered products, do check out his eBay store with many of them listed there. And if you do want to catch Phil, you can catch him at the Sunshine Coast Model, Train and Hobby exhibition happening on the 2nd of September. On Track Models have given us a first glimpse at their upcoming release of their 40-foot containers. These containers should be in production in September, with delivery expected before the end of the year. These containers here are the first painted samples which I got to shoot during the ABR Melbourne exhibition. Now, we've been told that these are mostly correct and right to go, however some do need some minor adjustments. But they do look great, and I'm sure they'll be as popular as the previous run. And on that, the race containers have now sold out and there is no rerun planned for the foreseeable future. They've also sold out of the Toll and United 40-foot curtain-sided containers, and for now there is still some remaining stock of the 40-foot containers. In regards to the South Australian ALGX and LX wagons, packs LX2, ALGX 5 and 7 have now sold out, and they are looking at various South Australian wagons to follow up from their successful Louver van launch. And lastly, from the Victorian VLEX and VLCX packs, VLEX 7, 8, 9, 3 and 4, as well as VLX 5 are getting extremely low and aren't expected to last. So during the month, we saw another release of the Eureka Times from Eureka Models, and it had some interesting updates and announcements, so here's what they've had to say. So it is a rather lengthy post, and it does mainly just keep bringing up mentions of COVID-19 and production delays, so I'm going to focus on the announcements in it. Now, it is posted to their website, and I will have a link in the description below. Now, they have shared with us a singular and first photo of the AD60 Garrett rerun, which was accompanied by the information that they're testing Zimo decoders with sound files that have already been prepared. And they say that they're happy with the sound files and will be going through Zimo Austria to have the decoders pre-installed with sound files for the ready-to-run DCC and sound AD60s. They added, with the final steps in assembly process now underway, a small group from Eureka is planning to visit the factory to observe the final assembly process itself. This visit is scheduled to take place in November this year, so delivery can be expected early in 2024. And these are the units that they've announced that they are rerunning. They followed this with an update on the 38 class rerun, which was due in late 2023, so said it's now more likely early in 2024. They said that the 38s have run into the same issue as the AD60s, although work has now recommenced, with the new PCB boards being designed, manufactured, and forwarded to Eureka for testing. And they are now being installed in an engineering sample along with Zimo decoders, with the appropriate sound files for further testing. As previously stated, this rerun will include these following engine numbers. They've said that some of these will be produced in very limited numbers and are intended to be order only. And lastly, in Locomotive updates from Eureka, the Victorian Railways R-Class rerun, stating that with the rerun of the AD60 nearing completion, the factory has advised them that it is ready to start serious work on their next project in the program, a rerun of the Victorian Railways R-Classes. Saying that in response to their factory's request, the team at Eureka Models put together an updated data package and made some decisions on variations and liveries, and forwarded this to the factory with a request for them to firstly provide them a firm quotation and then to proceed with the rerun at their earliest convenience. Given that the 620 720, 600 720 and DebSet project is next in line in the program. So they've said that the delivery of the R-Class is not expected till after the 620 program in late 2024. Now, they did give us an outline of what the rerun should be comprised of, which is R704 in the Festival of Britain, West Coast Railways R711, R707 as preserved, and Steam Rail Canadian Red as preserved, plus 3 other engines that weren't mentioned, as well as R766 as preserved in New South Wales, which, as most of us know, this is a vastly different locomotive than the ones preserved in Victoria. So just keep in mind that R711 and R766 were both announced to be released in West Coast Railways livery back in 2006, and you can find that on the Eureka Models website on both their order forms and blog posts, which are all still there. And I do strongly suggest having a look around that website. Also, just jumping back a second, R766 was never in Canadian Red. It was in LMS Red, so hopefully that is something that they do plan on correcting. Now, they do say that they're going to give us updates via their blog posts on their website, which once again, I do strongly recommend having a look at. They also gave us an update on the 620, 720, 600 and 700 2-car diesel sets and 900 class Deb sets, saying that this project was another that there was little progress on over the last year. However, they said that they are making progress on this project with delivery to take place in 2024 after the AD60. In rolling stock, the Eureka Models 12-wheeler series will be TAM sleepers and MCE sitting cars as their as-built configuration, with crown lights and matching sides. Both cars will be available in varnished timber, Tuscan and russet, and Indian red liveries. They added that due to overwhelming demand, stocks of all their 12-wheel sitting cars are now totally exhausted, and as a consequence, the 12-wheeler run will include a limited run of MCS sitting cars with delivery in 2024 anticipated. Following the 12-wheeler series, they'll then follow up with the Commissioner's Train as well as the Royal Train. So there we go, some interesting updates and news from Eureka Models. Once again, I will leave links to their website and that blog post in the description below, and I know this is the third time I've said it, but I do strongly suggest having a look around that website. Some exciting news from TrainOrama. TrainOrama has been a business name registered with the ASIC since mid-1974, and next year in 2024 will mark the 50-year centenary of TrainOrama coming into being. The first trading ad for TrainOrama appears in the August 1974 edition of the Australian Model Railway magazine. To mark this eventful occasion, TrainOrama is planning on releasing a special edition of the South Australian Railway's 930 class diesel in HO scale, decorated in two collectible liveries. Both single-ended and double-ended 930 class in traditional South Australian Railway's mustard pot livery, titled What Should Have Been But Never Was a Livery. Of course, this livery is entirely fictitious, being so decorated as a collector's item, as well as a single model of the double-ended 930 class number 961, adorned with South Australia's one-off Explorer blue livery, with the off-white body side band. The livery is prototypically correct, as the prototype LOCO 961, dressed in the blue Explorer livery, headed excursion trains around South Australia, in particular to the Vineyard region of SA. Powerline Models have now shared photos of the production samples of the Victorian Railways T-Class Series 2. They have said that production is on schedule for a late September to early October 2023 release, and that they are available to order now through Powerline retailers and online, as well as order forms available on their Facebook page. The Locomotive comes DC, although it is DCC and sound ready with fitted speakers, and the DCC and sound files fitted by DCC Sounds. Argyle LOCO Works, who specialise in garden gauge live steam railways, have two new models appearing shortly. The first is a 1/20 scale live steam model of the 13-tonne Shay Loco that's preserved at the Nambour Museum in Queensland. The model will be gauge adjustable from either 32 or 45mm, and will be available as a kit or as ready to run, and is priced at $3,140 for the kit or $3,350 for ready to run. The other is a rerun of Argyle's Victorian Railways NA class locomotive. Last produced in 2014, this 1/19 scale model will be offered in 3 preservation liveries plus a special batch of Locomotive 1A in the 1898 Baldwin configuration in the original builder's ivy green livery. This model will also be gauge adjustable for both 32 and 45mm gauges. These are priced at $4,200 for the live steam kit and the electric powered versions, or $4,720 for the live steam ready to run model. N-scale manufacturer BadgerBits are now taking pre-orders for the new New South Wales FHG brake vans. These highly detailed vans will come with metal wheel bogies, decals for lining and road numbers, liveries included Indian red and black. Although couplers will not be included, so you can choose the ones that suit your trains. And you can head over to goformodels.com.au or ask at your local train shop. During the month, Silence Melbourne produced a very interesting book, which is going to be a very handy reference for Melbourne electric modelers, the Hitachi book, with over 200 pages and more than 350 photographs featuring these iconic trains in their natural environment of Melbourne's past. The book covers motorcars 1M to 100M, D-cars, T-cars, as well as scrapyard photos, as well as photos of when they ran with Connex and Metro. As well as that, they also have a Hitachi T-car model. And it's very impressive. This limited edition Hitachi T-car model, it's, well, huge, with a height of 16 centimeters, a length of 102 and a width of 12, weighing in at 3.3 kilos. It is handmade with great attention to detail, featuring an aluminium roof, laser cut body, hand-cast wheel set, and detailed configuration, and the Met green and gold vinyl stickers. Each model comes individually numbered from 1921T to 1930T. However, due to size and the delicate nature of this model, pickup arrangements will need to be made. The team at Platform Printing Australia have been busy working on some new, unique models that they've recently added to their store. They've now added packs of everyday citizens for your layouts. These come with 10 different people in a variety of poses for just $30 and can be printed in any scale. If you are after something a bit more unique and interesting, they've also started producing fantasy items and have recently added glowing mushrooms, unicorns, and a small family of gnomes. The team are still working on producing new items and they have more to show in the coming months. As well as that, they're now shipping worldwide, so if you are after something unique for your layout, have a look at their online store, and of course check back regularly as they're constantly adding new models. Some new 3D printed kits from Paul's 3D. Paul has a new water tank wagon that's the type that sits on a normal 22-foot underframe with a large tank. This wagon is like WT463 on the Mark B website. There is also currently one of these wagons at the Yarra Valley Railway and another at the Daylesford Railway, and this tank wagon will be priced at $15. The next three wagons are all four-wheel oil tank wagons from the Victorian Railways. Of the types, the vacuum 3,000 gallon tanks, which is 2 compartments, so 2 top loading points, oil tank 4,900 gallon, the larger tank, and the Atlantic 3,000 gallon tank. They all run on the same 22-foot underframe as the WT and will be priced at $15. And these will be up on his website in about a week's time. An update from Southern Rail Models on the RRAY and RRBY, which will be shipping from China shortly. Now, they have been sent the production models, which have been tested on their layout, and they've said that they are very happy with the results of this model, and the running quality is excellent. All going well, they've said that the final packaging and shipping should be released in about November. So if you are after a set, do head over to their website as they are still taking pre-orders. An update from Steam-era models who have recently obtained some cordless motors from China to enable Black Beetle motors to be assembled beyond when they run out of existing stock of the Mishima 1220 or 1224 motors. The new motors are both 12mm in diameter, with the smaller ones only 15mm long and the larger one at 20. Both motors have a surprising amount of torque and power, belaying their small size. The smaller motor has allowed them to extend the range of Black Beetles, possible to shorter wheelbases. Previously, the minimum wheelbase with 15:1 gearing was 12.5mm, but they can now offer the Black Beetles down to a 21mm wheelbase, with the 15:1 gearing. As well as that, in the news that the cost of wheel components has risen, to the point that they will no longer be viable as wholesale packets and wheel sets and bogies to hobby shops. Although they will still be selling them directly, and there is probably still stock of wheels and bogies at several shops, but when they run out, customers will need to contact Steam-era Models directly by their phone number or their email that I'll leave in the description below. Another new N-scale container from Mark Jesser. This pad-printed, ready-to-run SCF 20-foot tank container, limited to only 200 units, is priced at $16 and is available now on his website. An update from CGL Models, whose Queensland Railways 1460 and 1502 classes were previously on display at the Brisbane Train Show earlier in the year. They've said that these models were sent out from their factory for evaluation and inspection purposes. Unfortunately, some minor paint and decoration corrections were identified on a few models, and the factory agreed to make the necessary corrections and have advised them that reassembly of these models is almost complete. They should be ready to ship to Australia in about 4 weeks. A further update will be advised when the precise shipping date is known. So a large update from SDS Models, who started with an announcement at the AMRA exhibition of the release of the Victorian Railways V cars. These carriages were introduced in the 1890s and upgraded in the 1940s and saw service up into the 1990s with Steam Rail's vintage train. SDS have said that they'll be making the AV, BV and CV carriages and are slated for a release in late 2024, although no prices or variations have been announced. In relation to the final 81 classes which was announced in last month's news, they did arrive, but they were wired to run in the opposite direction as intended. Upon realising this, their fastest and best course of action was to return them to their supplier for the warranty. Although they did have some for sale at the AMRA exhibition in Melbourne, and customers were instructed on how to rectify this problem themselves. These models are no different in quality to the already released batch that I made a review on some time ago, and I assume that we'll get an update on when they're going to be available soon. The The 1620 class, Y class and F class production is ready and the engineering samples will arrive in late February 2024. If all is well, then they'll proceed to commencing with the 620 class production. Once the 620 models are painted and tampo printed, the other models will follow immediately. A small update on the much anticipated and awaited Victorian Railways K-Class, which SDS and Phoenix Models took over the production from the circa 2007 announcement from Eureka Models, saying that all components are now in hand with the supplier. Paintwork will commence, and they plan to start assembly in the next few months. So after more than a decade's wait, I do wonder if we'll see it before the end of this year or before the end of 2024. Staying in Victoria, news on the T and Y classes. Now that the 81 class assembly is nearing completion, the T classes will be the next model to commence assembly. And in relation to the Ys, the tooling for these models is now complete, and will be jointly produced when they get the T classes assembled. And lastly, in relation to locomotives, the progress on the New South Wales Railways D50 and D53 class locomotive, saying that the progress on this project has been slow lately. However, they have been assured by the supplier that they will complete the designs immediately after they return to work next month. Moving on to rolling stock, the two mixed 5-packs of KQ and GY wagons, which are reruns with new running numbers, as well as the new 5-pack of red GYs that feature the 5-foot imperial lettering, are now available with new running numbers. And these are now in stock at SDS stockists. Painting and tampo printing has commenced on the South Australian Railway 700 class carriages, and they've added that this is a huge undertaking of colour and livery complexity. New South Wales Railways LHO, LHY and KP class models are almost complete and will be shipped from China later this year. New South Wales S-Truck and Shunter floats, which SDS are producing a rerun of the colourful S-Truck packs 27, 28 and 29, plus all single packs including 4 new wagons. This model was designed and tooled back when they produced the timber-sided versions of the S-Truck, as several other projects took precedence, with the supplier of the model remained incomplete until recently. They've said that the model will arrive in late 2023, along with another production of the popular S-Trucks, which will include another 4 units from the above single pack range. The Victorian Railways RY Open Wagon first engineering samples will be ready in February, and these models will be offered in a 5-piece pack like their S-Trucks. These packs will cover the IZ wagon with buffers through to their final iteration of the new all-welded steel bogies on old riveted underframes. There are 2 door latch variations with 2 styles of body and bracing. They are offering combinations of size to suit a wide variety of assemblies. And lastly, the Victorian Railways ELF, ELX and ESX open wagons, which have said that the tooling process has commenced. These wagons are based upon their earlier Austrains models. They've been upgraded to their contemporary standards with new, finer detailed sides and ends, improved chassis, bogies and brake gear. Their future release program will also encompass the corrugated sided versions, the South Australian Railways plain and corrugated versions, and many other variations found on today's railways. A couple of little bits from Auscision. During the month, we saw the rerun of the Southern Aurora, Melbourne Express and Power Cars, which are now here and available from retailers and the Australian Modeler website. We also got the first look at the Victorian Railways Harris samples, and I must say that they are looking excellent. Be interesting to see if we do get the blue roof variant and possibly the other Harris derivatives like the Greaser and of course the H sets. But for now, I'm pretty keen to get my hands on a set. Auscision said that due to a large backlog that these will be slated for a Q1 2024 delivery. And with that, the mail-away pre-orders will end on the 31st of October, unless sold out prior, where you can save up to $150 when pre-ordering a 7-car set. Auscision now also have Perspex display boxes for sale, and there are 5 new boxes available from Australian Modeler in 20, 25, 30, 40 and 50 centimetre lengths. And lastly, in my own news, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who came to the AMRA Victoria branch's exhibition at the showgrounds in Melbourne. It was fantastic to see so many of you there, and you made my weekend. Everyone who said hello and told me you watched the show, and it meant a lot, and it was the first time that I've ever exhibited, and thank you to everyone who came past. Just so you know, the leftover merch is now available on my website. If you are chasing, I think there's a couple of beanies left and a couple of hats. None of it is likely to get rerun, so if you do want it, now's your time to get it. Anyway, let's move on to all the currently announced exhibitions, conventions and open days happening for 2023 and 2024. In South Australia on the 17th of September, the 41st Toy and Model Swap Meet will be happening at Windsor Gardens, the Avenues College Gym. Miniature Trains on the Coast, Model Train and Hobby Show will be happening at the Nerang Bicentennial Community Centre. From the 29th of September to the 2nd of October, the NMRA National Convention, Rails at Rose Hill, will be happening in Sydney, with some tickets still available, so get in now before they're gone. As well, in New South Wales over the October long weekend, there will be a model railway exhibition happening in Oberon, coinciding with celebrating 100 years of the Oberon-Tarrana branch line. In Victoria, on Saturday the 16th and Sunday the 17th of September, ARMEX will be held in Kyneton at the Masonic Hall. As well as that, on Sunday the 17th of September in Melbourne, the AMRA Victoria Model Railway Club will have their open day, which you can find out more about in a video that I made during the month. The South Australian N-Gauge Society will be exhibiting at the Loxton Show on the long weekend in October. In New South Wales, the O-Scale Modelers Forum will be happening on the 17th of October. In Victoria, on Saturday the 21st and 22nd of October, we'll see the Shepparton Model Railway Exhibition. As well as that, on the same weekend, the Sunbury Model Railway Club's annual exhibition will be happening in Sunbury. AMRA Queensland will be holding their open day on the 21st of October at their club rooms in Zillmere. In New South Wales, unfortunately, the Hills Model Railway Society's exhibition at the Blacktown Leisure Centre has been cancelled. The Railway Modelers Club of Queensland will be holding an open day and buy and sell day on Sunday the 5th of November at their club rooms in Brendale. In South Australia, the Noarlunga Model Railroaders will be holding a model railway swap meet on Sunday the 12th of November. Staying in South Australia, the Malang Model Railway Exhibition will be held over the 25th and 26th of November at the Malang Railway Museum. In Queensland, on the 25th and 26th of November, the Model Train and Hobby Exhibition will be presented by the Railway Modelers Club of Queensland at the South Pine Sports Complex in Brendale. On Saturday and Sunday, the 2nd and 3rd of December, the Model Railway and Hobby Show will be happening at the St John's Anglican Church, Church Street, Salisbury, South Australia. In Melbourne, on Saturday the 9th of December, the All Hobbies Swap Meet will be holding a mega swap meet at the Sandown Racecourse. To kick off 2024, the first model train show of the year will be the Warrnambool Model Train Show in Victoria on January 13th and 14th. That will be followed by the Phillip Island Model Train Show on January 20th and 21st, also in Victoria. Over the Labour Day long weekend in Melbourne, the biannual Newport Railway Workshops Open Day will be on again, and not just featuring 1-to-1 scale trains this year, we'll also have model railways, so stay tuned for more information. In Melbourne on the 16th and 17th of March, the Train and Hobby Show will be on again at Sandown Racecourse. The 2024 Easter Model Train Show will be happening on March 30th and 31st at the Community Bank Stadium, Diamond Creek, just out of Melbourne, and I hope to see lots of you there. The National N-Scale Convention will be happening in Wangaratta, Victoria from May 31st to June 2nd, with tickets now available. A not-to-be-missed event is the Rose Hill exhibition happening on the 4th and 5th of May in 2024 in Sydney. This is, as I always say, if you're going to attend one exhibition a year, it's definitely the Rose Hill exhibition. In Queensland, on the 4th and 5th of May, the 46th Annual Brisbane Model Train Show will be happening at the Brisbane Showgrounds. So there we go, that's all the currently announced exhibitions and conventions for 2023 and 2024. Now, if you are planning on attending one of these events, do let them know that you saw it here on Australian Model Railway News. Of course, if you are in a model railway club and you're having an event, you just know the date or some basic information, just let us know and I'm more than happy to add it in here so we can tell more and more people about your great event. During the month, I gave away a handful of on-track models, AL, GX and LX louvered vans, and here are the winners. You've all been contacted by email, so check your emails and I will be in touch with you. And well, congratulations and thank you so much for watching the videos and entering the competition. And a huge thank you to On-Track Models for making that possible. Excellent. Anyway, I hope you enjoy your new rolling stock. And of course, I did say earlier in the video, if you are after some of these wagons, some are now either sold out or nearly sold out. So do get your hands on them if you want, well, a set of these wonderful wagons. Now on to this month's giveaway. It will be the 1/8 scale Auscision wall art. Up for grabs will be 2 NR wall art pieces. So if you are interested in entering that competition, just head over to my website, hit the competitions tab, and all the information will be there. So there we go. That's all the news and announcements for August 2023. If you did find something super interesting in here or just have some feedback, of course, leave it in the comments, and don't forget to be subscribed if you haven't already. Now, I hope to see lots of you out and about this month. I will be at Armex in Kyneton, as well as the AMRA Victorian Open Day happening in the middle of the month. As well as that, I will also be at the NMRA convention on the Saturday in Sydney towards the end of the month. So lots happening, and I hope to see lots of you at these events. Anyway, once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope I see you again soon. Hooroo!